Well, hey there, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Island Church Weekly Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Lombardi, joined as always by Pastor Will. Pastor Will, how you doing today?
Just super, Matt. It's good to be with you and share with our
Good to see
people.
you,
There's
man.
just some great things going on, and
Absolutely.
it's an interesting time of the year. Things are heating up a little around here,
Yep.
and we're moving towards kind of a summer schedule, moving to our 5 or 6 months of
Yeah.
summer.
Yep, absolutely. As I say, that nice little 3 to 4 month window that actually feels like 7 to 8 months around Florida, but that's okay. So past weekend, Mother's Day, my family and I went to actually the beach. That's what Mom wanted to do. So we had to take all the little 3 munchkins to the beach for a nice long beach day. How was Mother's Day in your house, but then also at Island Church?
Well, for us personally, we didn't do a whole lot Saturday night. Often we'll take a little nap on Sunday afternoons, and so we watched a little bit of basketball or something. I
Yeah.
just on and did some different things. Ourselves didn't do a whole lot, and we were going to go out that night, Sunday night, for dinner together, but we actually didn't even do that. And we have this running thing. We try not to make too big a deal of all the special days. We try
Yeah.
to love each other daily, right? I
Yep.
mean, like every couple,
Absolutely.
I guess. But
Yep.
so we don't put a lot of pressure on that on those kind of
I love
days.
it.
But
I love it.
obviously, the girls called their mom and engaged with
Yeah.
her and that type of thing. So that was good. So that's that.
Yep. Yep.
So on the church, it was a good day. We prepared our music, and they did a great job with that. And I spoke on really how does God view women from the Old Testament,
Yeah.
and then how did Jesus interact with women?
Yeah.
And as you know, I mean, from your theological studies yourself,
Yeah.
I mean, women were second-class citizens at best, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of what Jesus did was to give them value and protect them. Even some of the commands were there to protect them because the men didn't need protecting. So that's when I tried to summarize all that, and then we looked at the story out of Matthew 15, where there's the woman with the mother with the demon possessed child. So we did that, and then we closed that out. I took a whole look at the whole Bible, basically said, what are our responsibilities to mother? And I gave 4 of those. And so if you missed last week, I encourage you to listen to that. Someone said that was a very brave sermon, or it was very, very courageous. And I said there was a fine line between courageous and stupid. So but there's promises that come when we honor people, and there's actually scriptures that tell us if you don't, there's actually some discipline from God that comes with that. And so anyway, I try to cover that. So it was good. It was so far good, and really it was a good day. And then Sandy had decorated so beautifully outside our worship area, like she does, put her little touches on things. And she had done that late Saturday night, and we were up here in preparation for that. And this year, the gift to the mothers, was a wet dry bag. I was not familiar with such. I don't carry cosmetics, or anything like that. But this is for anything you can put. If, as she said, if it's wet around your bag and you want something dry, put in there. If it's dry around your bag, whatever the opposite is, do the opposite.
Do the opposite.
Dry rush, you can put something wet in there, like you had swimsuit or whatever else. Anyway, so it was beautiful little bags, and so we provided that. I had one guy, guys, we don't know much. The guy leaned up over me in the service. He thought, man, that's neat bags. He said, well, that hold like water? And I said, it's not like a thermos, and it's not going to be that. But anyway,
That's too funny.
It was a good day. We as we like to say, we like to have fun and get things done. And so we did that. We tried to honor the ladies, and we believe we tried to do that. So it was a good day. It's
great.
Good Sunday.
Awesome. And then coming up this week, we have Momentum. Any other big events coming up besides Momentum that you want to talk about?
Well, we got our schedule changes this week, right? We move into the first part of our summer schedule. So this week we start the gatherings, what we call the gatherings, at 9:30. So you're welcome to come at 9:30. The worship service itself will start at 10. 9:30, there won't be anything formal. There'll just be some little finger food type things and some coffee. I still haven't drunk my first swallow of coffee yet. We'll start this week, but I'll probably have a Diet Mountain Dew or something else with me.
That sounds good.
So this will be 9:30. We're going to call it gatherings. It's just a way for our people to connect with one another. And, I encourage people, to ask people how you can pray for them, how you can encourage them in their faith. Maybe just ask people about their spiritual journey, how they came to Christ. And so I would encourage not just chit chat. We can do that. That's fine. Talk about your golf game, how many fish you caught, whatever it is. But I encourage you towards the other as well. So meet up the gatherings at 9:30, worship service at 10, no 8:45 service in the summer. And so we look forward to kind of coming together, those 2 services. That'll be this week. And then we do have Momentum that night. So 9:30 gathering, 10 o'clock worship. And I'll continue on in this series of encounters with Jesus. We're going to learn so much about Jesus and about and how he interacts with us and people, what matters to him as we have our engagements with him. And so our encounters with him. And so that's coming up. And then you said momentum?
Yeah, momentum's coming up, right?
All right. Well, here's how Sandy put it last week, Matt. If you were in the 8:30 service, 8:45 service, she closed out the service and she's talking about momentum. And Charles Blanton is a guy in our church, remarkable guy. He and Gail just loved him to death, and he's a phenomenal cook. I mean, he did the banking world. He could build stuff and do all kinds of things. You hate those guys that can do everything, right?
So they do everything. Yeah.
He's a remarkable. He can grill and cook and do all manner. It's just the guys should run a restaurant almost or something.
Yeah.
But Sandy said this, she's trying to describe the barbecue, and she's just working through trying to give the announcement. She said, it's really something you should eat before you die. some of his barbecue.
That's high praise.
So I brought that line up in the 10 o'clock service at the end, but it's just outstanding. But anyway, we'll do that at 5:15. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll start with kind of our informal program. If you've not been to that, I encourage you. I mean, this week, we've got Red Barbecue and time to give those few minutes. And then when we get together, it's not another sermon, it's not another service. Yeah. It's a time where we celebrate what God has done in the life of our church and lives of individuals. We hear a few, I say reports, just the testimonies as to what God's doing. And then we talk about what's coming up and what directions we're going. So we'll celebrate the wins and advances. And then we'll talk about the building. And we've had some meetings recently with the architect, and we're really close on like a final plan. And we want to make sure before we give the green light that our people have a chance to see that. And there'll be many other things to decide. Yeah. Roof lines to carpet stuff to all kinds of things. Yeah. But the basic structure we're going to lay out for you this week. And just to make sure that we're not missing something, actually, we've had a meeting this week that's coming up with about 8 or 10 people, and we're going to look again at the plans to make sure from a children's perspective, the youth perspective, adults, everyone, are we missing something? We don't think we have. David Brooks has given leadership of that. Really appreciate David's involvement, and Chris Riley is our admin chair, has been very involved in that. And then Mark Bauman is our campaign leader for the Breeze of Future. So we're going to give people an opportunity. This is coming up this week. So it's going to be a big momentum for us. So
I love
the barbecue before you die.
Yeah, absolutely. Get some barbecue before you die and show up, because there's going to be a lot of stuff to go over. A great time for everyone to gather together. Pastor Will, how can folks be praying for the church this week in light of everything that's going on?
Well, we think about the people as they receive the plans. We got so many new people in the church. We just so thrilled with the people in God's providence this past year. We want to steward them well. We want to encourage them in their faith, and just that they would get as they get connected to the life of our church, and some of them even towards formal membership, and then some towards the Bridge to the Future campaign. They want to contribute to us expanding our mission outpost, and so we just are thankful for the new people, and so we're certainly grateful for the foundation that was given to us that we inherited, and then the people that have been here serving with us the several years that Sandy and I have been here serving. Yeah. But there are so many new people, and we want to find opportunities for these people to serve and to give and benefit, all those kinds of things. You know, when you have new people. Absolutely. And actually, we're going to have an event coming up in early June that we're going to pull those people together and answer questions and hear from them, and we're going to have kind of a thing where we invite them to actually take their next step with us. But anyway, I can just pray that the people God brings us will steward them well, and that they'll find a place here to grow and develop spiritually. If a person's just coming to hang out, that would be the Terra Verde men or women's club or something like that, which I'm not counting them. I'm just simply saying there's places for people to just connect. We're trying to advance the gospel. We're trying to grow spiritually, and we're trying to pursue Him. Remember, that's our word this year. Pursue God, pursue His kingdom, and pursue His kingdom needs. And so we want to help people win for eternity. That's an exciting thing to do.
Absolutely. Well, Pastor Will, thank you so much for sharing your heart today, for sharing how people can be praying for the church, what we've got going on. Thank you all at home or on the go or in the car or at a restaurant or wherever you are for watching. If you're watching in the car, please just keep your eyes away. Just listen, maybe. But we're grateful that you are tuning in wherever you're joining us from. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with all of the recent messages from Island Church and this weekly podcast. We'll see you back here next week.